All right, guys, we have a video that's just a little bit different this week. Not just because I have ears on, also not really used to filming with ears on. There's like so much more of my head here, but I digress. This video is part of our Run Disney race prep series, and this is designed to take with you to the hotel to get some pre-race yoga. Now, this is going to get you ready to do your race the next day or two, and I'm going to offer you some tips and tricks along the way. So, we're going to be filming in a typical bedroom so that you can see how this really works. I hope you have a wonderful time doing this video, and I can't wait to see you out there on the race course. Welcome to my actual bedroom in my house, just to show you that space-wise, you will have enough room for this. Now, you can just do this like plain on the hotel room carpet. Personally, don't really trust random hotel room carpet. So I will get a towel out, and it doesn't really have to be that big of a towel. In fact, you can fold it in half, just enough for your torso to lay down on it, because we are going to be doing some stuff on the floor. So really, this is about all the space that you need. I mean, you might want as wide as your legs, because we will do some stuff standing. But as far as laying down, that is how much space you need. We are going to start standing just to get some movement in our body. Now, we're actually going to use the wall here, and we're going to start with some hip swings. And I realize that this is a little different than you would typically do in yoga, but here's what happens is we generally have to travel to these races, right? And we've probably been sitting, and we're probably tight. So we're going to get just some dynamic range of motion in those legs, which is different than holding still. It's kind of warming up the muscles, and at the same time, letting them start to find how they will move naturally. And then we're going to switch sides, do the other side. And, this little thing on the back of my arm, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor. Hopefully you follow my podcast, Mind into Motion. You can find it where you get your podcast, because I'm talking all about it and the impact it has on health right now. Awesome. Now, if you want to, you can face the wall for this part. Personally, I don't really want to show you my butt. So I'm going to come over here and just use this little chest of drawers I have. We're going to cross the leg across and swing out. So we're just getting that abduction, adduction, in and out motion. Now, while this is nice to do, I recommend walking quite a bit before your race. Not really fast, but just getting that body moving. I always have a park day before I do my race, and that's debated. Let's do the other side. That's debated. Some people don't like to do that. They say it makes their legs tired. Personally, I probably had my best race. Well, and I mean, I'm not really in it to win it, but my best feeling race doing a full park day before. All right. So that's definitely something that you want to get in. Now we're going to go straight to the floor. So go ahead and lay down on your back. We're going to pick up our right leg, hold on to our right knee. We're going to let it rest heavy into that hip socket and just make some circles. So again, this is still mobility. Your opposite leg can be bent up, or you can extend it down long. Just see how it feels on your lower back. Everyone, usually says lower back touch the mat when you're lying supine like this. That's not anatomically how it works. Let's go the other direction. But that means your lower back isn't always going to be touching the mat, but it shouldn't be way arched away. If it is, just bend that leg, put the foot down. And let's switch sides. I hope you guys noticed my themed tank, Little Mermaid, my favorite Disney princess, Ariel, right? I've worn this for many a race, this upcoming race. If you're watching this live, it's not live, but close to when it comes out. You'll know which race it is, but later on, if you watch it, it's the Wine Dine 2024, switch directions. I have a Tiana tank. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to be doing this race, because I really want to find you out on the race course. See if you use some of these tips and tricks and these different videos that I've done for you. And lowering down. Let's reach long. Arms one direction, legs one direction, reach long. Just stretching. Big, big, big stretch. Inhale as you exhale. Let's curl one knee in, hug it into your chest. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hug the other knee into your chest. Inhale and exhale. I'd also like to know if you do this video and if you do it before your race, and if you have a group of friends, let me know who's doing this. The beautiful thing that I love about Disney races is that they attract friends. The first one I ever did was for one of my friends' 40th birthdays, and I just fell in love with it. And I did a video about it. So I'll be doing another video coming up on the Wine and Dine, more tips and tricks. I do specialize in tips for people who are wanting to walk some of it and not get swept by the dreaded balloon ladies. Awesome. Now let's bring both feet in. We're going to place our feet flat on the ground, opening them up about as wide as our hips. Take our arms out to a T or a low V, wherever you have rooms for. We're just going to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Getting a little movement internally and externally. The whole point of this video is not for like maximum stretching, right? We should know this by now, but we don't want to just do a ton of stretching before we work out. When you're done with your run, you might do a little bit, but this dynamic movement to help get the body used to moving again, especially if we've been seated for a long time, as well as foam rolling, self-myofascial release. I think I have some of those videos. If not, comment down below if you think I should make one. But that's going to help a lot more. Good. Coming back to center. Feet now come in closer to about hip width apart. We're going to go into a little bit of bridging. I like to slice the floor. So I put the pinky side of my hands down on the ground. Inhale, exhale, tuck the tailbone in. So now we press that low back into the mat and curl up until our shoulder blades are heavy on the ground. We don't want to lift up onto the back of our head or neck, and then roll all the way back down. So we're aiming for more of a Pilates bridge. Inhale, exhale, move. Inhale at the top, and exhale, roll down. We aren't squeezing really hard through the glutes, maybe a gentle squeeze, but more than anything, we're focusing on the movement in the pelvis, and we're zipping that belly up because we want this to be about the spine, not about a big glute strengthening. Jane Fonda from the 1980s, was it? Let's pretend like it's 90s so I don't feel so super old. But yes, we're not doing the super glute bridge. We're doing more of a little Pilates lift. Tuck and roll, trying to find some mobility through that low back. One more time up and then down. Beautiful. On our back, just a couple more things. We're going to extend one leg up now, and you can bend the other leg. So borrowing a little bit from Pilates here as well. Remember those knee circles where the leg was nice and heavy? We're going to be doing the same thing. Zip the belly nice and tight so that we don't rock and roll around, and just draw some circles on the ceiling. Now, the reason that we're doing this, same concept, moving in that hip, but also finding some stability through the abdominal muscles, reminding them to kick on, switch directions, so that especially, this is a big one for if we're walking. If we're walking any of this race, our abdominal muscles know how to brace our core when our legs are moving in those hip sockets. Perfect. Holding here, flex the foot, extend through the heel, and start to pull that leg back to your head without holding on. So we're just seeing kind of our natural range of motion in this leg, and then seeing if we can pull it just 10% more. Beautiful. Lengthening through that heel and setting it down. Opposite leg, bring it up, point the toe, and let's start to draw some circles. And we're not just kind of, seeing what's going to happen, right? And rocking and rolling around. We're trying to keep everything still except that leg. So the circle is only about as big as a dinner plate. Good. And switch directions. Nice. Lengthening through that leg. Finding it nice and long. Some of us are probably fighting our hamstring here a little bit. That's okay. Really, really work for that length. Work for the length. Everything is synergistic, meaning it works together. So we have to add that energy in. Coming to center, flex the foot, heel to the ceiling, toe to the face, pulling this leg toward us. Beautiful. Pull, pull, pull. A little bit more. Kick through the heel and lower down. Awesome. Let's roll to our side. We're going to come up to a all fours position to start. By all fours, I mean quadruped, which is hands below shoulders and knees below hips. If you want, you can make fist for wrist, tuck the thumbs in versus having them push down on the mat. Pressing in, thumb holes facing forward to protect your wrist if you want to. From here, our favorite, cat and cow. Drop the belly through, turn the tailbone to the sky, lift the chin slightly, roll the shoulders back and down for a long neck, and then exhale, start at the tailbone, tuck. Let that wave pass through the spine, press between the shoulder blades, tuck the chin. This is when I come closer and further away to the mic, so my apologies for volume. And let's go the other way. Rolling through. Remember, try not to just drop into the shoulders like a turtle, right? We want to roll the shoulders back and lift the head and lower the head. Just to be very clear, I trust the floor on my house. So I know I have a towel down. That's just for an example. I don't know. I do have 2 kids and 2 dogs and a cat. Ugh, maybe I don't trust my floor. And release. Shake our hands out. Beautiful. We're going to do one more exercise here, but I'm going to take little breaks in between just for wrist feeling, because I don't really know how we're all feeling together, but I want to get some for our feet too. Tuck our toes under. Sit back, get those pinky toes involved. Sit back on the heels, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, and sink. For some of us, this might be the most challenging position. Why? Because what's happening underneath our feet sometimes is the place where we're feeling all of our training and stuff the most, because we're holding those feet in shoes all day long. Let me show you an option if that's too much. Lean forward onto the wrist or the fist, right? Let the feet get a break. Try not to release them totally. But when we're sitting here, we're helping release some of that fascia. It's important, and I'm not telling you to go run. I don't think you can even run the Disney races barefoot, but I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you is to spend some time barefoot and to send some love to your feet. We want to keep them strong. We want to keep them supple, and we want them to be able to carry us through our life. Now, let's give our feet a little break. Beautiful. Release. Reaching forward with the right arm, kicking back with the left. Stabilize. Find that balance. Holding here, zipping that belly, lengthening. We're not going anywhere else. And then slowly lowering down. Reaching through, extend and reach. Long, long, long. Reach long. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, we're going to make this into a little exercise. Well, it was one, right? We're going to make this into a little bit of work. Let's reach one arm, opposite leg, and then exhale, put it down. Inhale, reach with opposite leg, and exhale, put it down. Inhale, reach, and exhale, lower. Inhale, reach, and exhale, lower. Inhale, reach, and exhale, lower. Trying to minimize our movement from side to side. And I know we have a little bit of it, but how controlled can we go? Good. Bring this in. Tuck the toes one more time, sitting back on those heels. Nice. Remember your option, coming forward, taking the weight off, right? As much as we need to, we can always sit back on the feet. Now, even though I say this is a good pre-race yoga video, it's also good post-race. So, or post-park. When you've spent a full day in one movement pattern, it's really nice to get out of it. Pushing up onto all fours, we're going to step forward with our, let's do left leg forward. That way we're all together. And I want you to go for 90 and 90. So we're not lunging into this one. We're kind of going straight here. Feel on the opposite side. I'm going to turn to face you for a second. Feel on the opposite side that your hip bone is directly above your knee bone. You're not pushing into this. We're going to take our hands to our ears, lifting high, and then slowly begin twisting to the left side. Watch our balance. Press in with the top of that right foot for more balance. Twist, turn on that right glute. So squeeze it. Let that pull you into a twist. Think about the shoulder blade of your left arm, pulling it back behind you, twisting deeper and deeper into this twist. With each exhale, getting a little deeper, continuing. Good. You should feel heat behind that left shoulder blade and in that right glute, pulling you into this twist. Coming back to center. Release the left hand, up with the right. We're just going to go into a lateral flexion. And again, we're right over that knee. So we're working a little bit of balance and we're really getting that proper rotation and flexion of the spine. Coming back to center. Beautiful. Let me give you a side view this time. So we're going to step that right foot forward or opposite. I mean, it's helpful if you do the same leg I do because it'll line up with what I'm talking about in the rest of your body. So right foot is forward. Check that hip, 90-90. We're not lunging forward. We're just pressing tall. The reason we're not lunging forward, to be clear, this is not about your quadricep. It's not about your hip flexor. We've done some stuff for that. This is about your spine and getting the other two natural movements of your spine. When you're ready, hands to your ears. Inhale, exhale, start to twist. So press in to that leg that's down. Pull the shoulder back. Pull that right shoulder back. Turn on the left glute for stability. We're twisting. Our spine has 4 natural movements. That's it. Flexion and extension. So there's cat and cow. We flex into cow. We extend into cat. Rotation, which is right here. With each exhale going a little deeper. And then lateral flexion, which is the leaning over to the side. It's important that we always use these 4 when we're talking about mobility and stability in our body, because it's what our whole foundation relies on. Coming back to center, reaching up, and then taking this directly over the side. Notice I didn't go forward, I didn't go backward. If I need to, I can reset and take this directly over the body. Good, bring that arm down. Okay, now switching gears just a tiny bit. We're gonna tuck the back toe, press ourselves up into a lifted lunge. If we need to, we can hold the wall here. In fact, I can't look at you and do this, so I'm gonna go to the side, hold the wall, go just a little bit down, and then send that back leg back. Tuck under a little bit and lift our chest to the sky. Now we're opening the front of the leg. We're not staying for very long because our focus isn't a lot of deep static stretches. It's just finding the stability and mobility. Stepping in, switching sides. So again, you can just go off the wall, tuck, drop, and lift. Good. And standing with your feet together. Now, if you want, you can stay standing. I'm going to my knees because I want to make sure that my arms fully get on camera. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite releases for the upper body. It's called YWLT. And it is for all of your upper body really, but it gets into kind of this complex around the neck. And if you're like me, when I'm walking and running, I tend to lift my shoulders and my traps get really tight. And sometimes I get a headache. So this stretch, you can do it at any time. Even if you have like too much tension, you can stop and think YWLT. So the first thing that I need you to think about is your head placement. Some of us naturally lift our chin when I say, move your head back, or we just lift our eyes, or we do a combination. But I want you to think about pulling the head back in line with the shoulders or further. Chin is tucked a little bit, and you're creating kind of a double chin situation here. You should feel immediately some openness in the back of your head. Now we're in luck because we're in our hotel room and we have a wall. So I challenge you, you can take the feet out a little bit if you want. And I'll probably have to take my ponytail down to do this. But I challenge you to put your head against the wall and make sure that this portion of your head is on the wall, not up here, but down here. And then make the Y with your hands back against the wall without changing position of the head. And that's what position your head should be in. When you're not on the wall and you're down here or away from the wall, doing the YWLT. So that's just a little check-in you can use. So we're starting in the Y, just raising the hands up and letting them come behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades without jutting the chin forward. Then our elbows come down, our shoulder blades start to draw down to W. Now, if you're like me, you can feel this already in that area, like between your neck and your shoulders, your trapezius muscles. L, hands come out to the side. Now they can start to pull back. And T, arms are out, thumbs are up, reaching back. Drop the thumbs and reach further back behind you. Now you could hold each one much longer, but this is just an example. Good. Shake it out. And friends, that is it. This is your Disney yoga workout. You're like, yeah, it wasn't themed. So if you're on here looking for a yoga workout that has, all the Disney everything, then maybe you're wanting like a playlist. But this is for those of you that are dedicated to running a Disney race, or like me, walking, maybe a little running thrown in here and there, a Disney race, and you want it to be fun. You don't want it to wreck your body. You want to have a couple park days around it maybe, but you want to do it in a healthy way, in a way that builds your spirit and helps with the community that you're around. And you just want it to be a really good time. So I'm glad you found your way to me. I apologize that it wasn't a Disney Princess playlist, but you can find those all over Spotify. You can also find me on Spotify and all the other social media channels everywhere. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and then also check out my podcast if you like, anywhere you find your podcast, Mind into Motion, to get more health tips, tricks, and habits for people exactly like me and you. Hope to see you out there on the race course.